So I think one thing that's really interesting is how each one of your areas operates. Being on the tech side of things, I kind of bring it all together, but you guys are so specialized in what you do, and it's really remarkable. I think, what do you find the most exciting about your area and what we're bringing to our users, specifically from your specialty?
From a physical activity standpoint, it's no longer measured, success is no longer measured on how much weight you lift, or we've taken it and we've actually built the score. We're encouraging variety of your activities. We're looking at duration. We're looking at intensity. So it's not just like how much weight, which in the athletic realm or in the physical activity realm, it's like who ran the fastest, who ran the furthest, who lifted the most weight. And if you're not one of those, like oftentimes they can just seem like so just defeating. So what we've done is, and we've mentioned it before, is like it's you versus you. So if we're starting from zero activity at all, and I start to meet, let's say I want to meet 150 minutes a week, we're going to show growth, we're going to show movement, and then we can build on 200 minutes next week, and we're going to show movement. So we can celebrate these little successes. I believe, unfortunately, that those aren't celebrated enough in the current climate. Like if you didn't lose 500 pounds, or if you didn't do 5 marathons, like then what are we cheering about? Mm-hmm. And that is just such a disservice to people. So for this, my biggest excitement about this is it doesn't matter if you go walk your dog every day and that's what you do, and then you went on one jog, that's improvement, that's success for you, and we're going to be able to track it and celebrate it with you.
I think the thing that excites me the most is the actual education piece of the nutrition part of the app. I think a lot of times people will go into something, whether it's a diet and they choose to do a Whole30 or a paleo or a keto, or I'm going to go vegan or I'm going to go gluten-free, and they go all in. They're like, I'm going to start this, I'm going to do this, here's my set of rules, I'm going to clean out my pantry, I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to do all of this. The problem with that is those rules were never set based on that individual. It's just this kind of arbitrary thing that worked for a couple people loved it, and then they all talked about it. And so now this person's like, hey, my cousin did this and they did great, so I'm gonna do this too. So you do this diet, and physiologically you don't understand why it's working, even if it is working, and you don't understand why it doesn't work. And so you get to whatever the end is. Maybe the end is you reach your goal, or maybe the end is you quit. But either way, you don't really know why it worked. I think with this app, the great thing that we're doing is trying to educate people on actually what's happening in the body when it comes to when you're eating this specific meal, and why you get specific signals from your body telling you something, and what that actually means, and how you can interpret that to give your body, your individual body, what you need, not what your cousin needs or what your aunt needs or what your mom needs. And it can allow you to stop feeling bad for not fitting in that hole that maybe someone else fit into, and that worked for them, and then you felt down about yourself because it didn't work for you. I think that's a big mistake we've made in the nutrition world, is try to fit everyone in this one thing. Like, here's this food pyramid, everybody follow this. But now we're finding out that not everybody needs to follow that type of food pyramid, because what works for one person isn't going to work for everybody, and it's like that in all disciplines of health. But we're just kind of catching on to that, and people are just trying to start understanding that when it comes to nutrition. And I think we're doing a good job of that education piece and starting people kind of where they are, and not saying we expect you to know this or expect you to know this. But if you're already past that stage, guess what? You get to go on to stage 2.
When you asked that question, the word that came to my mind was intention. This app gives intention and a direction. I think sometimes when people come to our office, I don't know if for you, there's no direction. They want to move, they're ready to move, but they don't know the direction. And I think this app provides intention, a purposeful direction that's less scary, more manageable, and something that's exciting, where they're going to be excited to log in versus, oh, here's another one of my tools. It's, oh yes, I can do this, and I'm looking forward to it because it has such purpose and intention.
Yeah, and I think that, the theme I hear not being a specialist or one of the smart people up here, is that what we're doing is providing guardrails and, like you said, a direction. We're not telling you you're bad, you're good, you're great. No, you are who you are right now. What do you want to do? And we're going to help you get there. So I think that's the beauty of all this. It's not a scary experience. It's not you don't know this or we're going to jam stuff down your throat. It's we're going to help you get to where you need to go on your terms. But you have the guidance and support you need.
These are things that we all take for granted because this is what we do every day. The amount of years of experience and studies and so it's stuff that we take for granted. But we've all talked, we'll have people, clients of ours who come talk to us, and sometimes it can be staggering, the stuff that they don't know. And then as soon as they get that little bit of information, it's all of a sudden all these things opened up. So, that's what's so exciting. We're able to take X amount of years of expertise in practice and put it into a tool. And all these things that we just take for granted, that we think that everyone knows or that everyone should know, it's right there in your hand. And we built it so we're just building the papers you're already doing. So physical exercise is essentially a stress and repair model. As we exercise, we place stress on our muscles, joints, and the surrounding tissues, resulting in low levels of breakdown, depending on the intensity. And then during the recovery phase is where they repair, and as they repair, they actually come back a little bit stronger, resulting in some adaptations. This adaptation, unfortunately, does not happen overnight. It takes consistency. So multiple consecutive days of submaximal work, it limits the amount of excessive muscle breakdown while allowing for us to make these changes in regards to strength and performance. Think about it like when you're building a house, the consistency is going to be your foundation, and you have to have a strong foundation before you try to build any type of height, which would be increasing your intensity. They're both really important to making sure that you meet your goals. However, you need to make sure to have a very consistent start in order to build that foundation.